sidewalks, you may never know who you can meet. Hello, family. I'm Victor E. Can you walk with me on the sidewalk? Sometimes life is what you make it. Hello, family out there. This is Victor E TV, and I'm Victor E, and we're here on Sidewalk Talk. And you know, I'm always meeting interesting people on the sidewalk. So I've met this gentleman here in Montgomery, Alabama, that I wanted to bring to our platform here on Sidewalk Talk, so that you can get a chance to meet some of these fantastic people that I meet in the community and everywhere I go, actually. Okay, so are you ready to meet him? All right, his name is CJ. I'm going to call him CJ, and he's going to tell you the rest of the information. But come on right now. Hey, brother, how's it going? All right, CJ. All right, we get a chance to introduce you to my audience, and I'm really excited about this. This brother is an artist, and he's written several books, and he's only 21. And he's written a couple of books that he's going to share with you, and I know that you're going to be excited to see him, especially with this being February, which is what? Black History Month. There you go, Black History Month. All right, CJ, tell me a little bit more about your educational status and what are you doing right now?
Okay, so right now I am a junior at Alabama State University.
Okay.
I'm studying art. I'm an art major.
Art,
and,
okay.
I actually was a part of the school newspaper for a while. I was the cartoonist. I won first place for best artist and illustrator on the Hornet Tribune. I'm also participating in the student art organization here on campus. And
you're busy.
Yeah, so I kind of dabble in a little bit of what's going on campus. But they've been very supportive. My professors, Professor Nye, Professor Allen, Professor Dr. Weber.
All of these are professors in the art department.
Exactly. They all help help me along with my journey and try and support me in any way that they can. Even when I had the WSFA interview, they allowed me to have the interview in the classroom. They didn't have to do that, but they did. So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
That is really good. That's a wise thing, because we really need the support of those people who have paved the way for you, and the people who teach those who have taught us. And I always teach my kids to always give honor to where honor is due.
Right.
And that's great that you wanted to acknowledge those teachers up there who have paved the way for you. And I'm always proud of. Well, I went to Alabama State also. I have my master's degree there, and Tuskegee. And I always talk about our colleges, because they are the ones that make us who we are today.
Right.
And if we're excellent, it's because they were excellent.
Right.
All right. So that's great. And when will you be finishing? You're working on what degree now?
So right now it's my bachelor's degree.
You're working on your bachelor's?
Yes, sir. And so basically I'm a junior right now. I'm supposed to be finishing next year. I'm gonna be honest with you too. It's like doing all this stuff, working part-time as well as, trying to follow my dreams and my passions of writing and stuff. I have to retake a few classes because it's like, things start to,
That's okay.
That's okay. Happen. So it's like that's kind of what I've been experiencing as of lately. Trying to balance everything, and all the while still pursue my dreams. So that's what I'm doing. But I hope to finish next year. Got to retake a few courses, but yeah.
Okay, but that's okay. The main thing is that my dad always told me, never quit. You might have to tweak, and I taught my sons the same thing. You might have to tweak. You may have to take another class. You may have to, you tweak it, but you don't quit.
Right.
You finish what you start, and that was one thing my dad always taught me. You finish what you start. and you've started, and so you're gonna finish it. Okay, it doesn't matter. Hey, I've had to take classes over. Okay, but I got that BS, got that master's, and going on my PhD now. Okay. So that's fantastic, brother. CJ, tell me a little bit, as I always do with all of my guests. I ask them to tell me a little bit about their past, their present, and their future. So we get ready to get started. So tell us a little about who you are.
Okay. So I was born and raised here in Montgomery, Alabama. Ever since I was little, I've always been interested in superheroes and stuff like that. So that's kind of what started my journey into the arts in general. My name is CJ, but I'm a junior, so it's Kobe Jr. But my full name is Ronald Jacoby and Martin Jr. And my artist handle is actually Ronny Creates. But CJ is just a nickname that friends and family call me. But to a lot of my peers, they know me as Ronny. But that's just
Ronny Creates. Ronny Creates. So tell me, tell the audience about what your art is. What is it that you're actually doing?
Okay, so I'm actually the founder and CEO of Radical Comics. It's my LLC that I started, my company for publishing comic books. And so
comic books.
Yes,
okay.
Comic books. And so my first introduction to that, my first book was actually All-Star Book 1, Protect and Serve, which is about my main character, All-Star.
Yeah.
And this story kind of touches on social justice as well as the traditional storytelling of superheroes. You have your hero who experiences tragedy in their life, and then that tragedy shapes them into the hero that they become. And so in this particular story, it's more along the lines of reality. Okay. So this guy, he was a Marine veteran.
Hold on a minute. Okay. I want to make sure that they look at the honesty here. I love it already. And here's the back here. But we have an African American hero. Look at that. I love this. I'm excited already. Let's go. Keep going now.
Yeah. So basically, this story does touch on the realities of the African American experience, here in America.
Okay.
This guy, he served in the Marine Corps, disabled Marine. He actually lost his leg during infantry, but along the course of his story, he's a husband, he's a father, and he actually loses his son one day. Him and his son, they were playing baseball in their front yard, and his son Jay wanted to be an all-star baseball player. And so it all ties into his name, but I'll get to that. So his son was racially profiled by a police officer who said that there was a break-in in the community a few blocks back, but his son fit the description. And so his son was actually killed by this police officer. But this led the father, his real name is John Birmingham. He is a man of faith, so he prayed to God for some sort of justice, that justice be served for his son, because in a lot of cases, people get off, scotch-free, they get a slap on the wrist.
Oh yeah, we know about that.
Yeah, so he prayed for some sort of justice, but this being from space heard his cries for help, and so this crystal, this mysterious cosmic crystal, was actually sent to him, crash landed into his backyard, and it basically bonded with him and gave him superpowers. And so this crystal allowed him to get powers and become the hero known as All-Star. So the crystal itself is actually crafted from stars in space. And that's part of the reason why his name is All-Star, because he gets his powers from the stars, channeling that energy. And stars, when they go supernova, they actually emit large amounts of energy, more powerful than nuclear bombs. So he has all this power inside of him. He also, when his son died, his son wanted to be an all-star baseball player, and he nicknamed his son All-Star. So when his son was killed, and he became the hero not too long after becoming the hero and dealing with corrupt police officers, they asked him, what's your name? Who are you? And he said, my name is All-Star, and it was a tribute to his son who had been killed, not knowing that he would get the powers of all of the stars in space. So it's a full connection. almost like fate chose him and God chose him to be his hero.
Right.
So that's kind of the gist of the character and his origin story.
Where did you get the inspiration of who this man was? I mean, you had to create this character. Was that an inspiration from somewhere?
So I kind of looked at a lot of my favorite heroes, a multitude of heroes. I'd say growing up, there was a particular character from a DC cartoon, DC character named John Stewart. He's the first time I had seen a black superhero in a cartoon, and he was one of the inspirations. He also is a Marine, Captain America, Superman. Those characters, those are inspirations. But there's another character called Blue Marvel, who was a superhero in the '60s that wore a full costume, but nobody knew that he was black. And until his costume had gotten ripped, and then they found out, oh, this guy's black, we don't want him to be a superhero. So it kind of had racial implications within the story, so I wanted to do something similar. Yeah. And but in this situation, this guy actually lost his son. Also, some more inspiration. I wrote this story in 2020. That was the height of a lot of social unrest in this country, dealing with George Floyd being killed by law enforcement and other unarmed black people that were gunned down and killed. And so I wanted to use my artistic abilities to voice my opinions. I was shy and timid, so I didn't have. I wanted to be an activist. I wanted to go out into the streets and march and protest, but that just wasn't who I was. So I decided to use my artwork to talk about the things that I wanted to talk about and make a hero that would be against those, the injustices that I see. So,
well, just listening to you talk about this and what you've done, we all have our gifts and we all have our talents and what have you. We have to use what the Creator has given us.
Right.
And so in that way, yes, you can be a superhero. Even with your person, hey, look what they did with Clark Kent. He was supposed to have a shy, whatever, but in another way, that was strong the point. And this is strong,
right?
So maybe this is going to be your superpower that is going to change what we need. The changes, actually, maybe inspire a change in the youngsters who are coming through, who need these type of positive role models for our people.
Right.
So maybe that's the superhero that you're going to be. And I'm looking at this. I love the art. It's just I get excited when I see men represented in a strong and moral, a positive light, and by him being a superhero. That's the ultimate. It's almost like becoming a god.
Right. And that's one thing too. I wanted to make this character represent something larger than himself. Dr. King said this one quote. He said, "You can only see the stars. You can only see the stars when it's dark, in the darkness."
Oh yeah.
And so his whole thing is the stars. And so when you think about it, in the darkness, what happens in the dark? There's when things go down after 12 in midnight. Things happen, crime. Suffering, things happen in the dark, but with my character, he is that light in the dark. Yeah. He's, that actual literal and figurative thing that lights up. His powers are light-based. His powers come from the stars, and the stars, they see the darkness. So that's kind of his whole thing. But yeah.
Now, did you actually develop this during the time of COVID?
So what happened was, in middle school, I had the idea for a character named All-Star who didn't look anything like this. Okay. I will say, growing up, most of my favorite heroes were white. I didn't see any black heroes until I mentioned Green Lantern, the black character from the cartoon that I just mentioned. But that wasn't too long after, I was, older and stuff like that. But most of my favorite heroes were white, so I made a white version of All-Star. He didn't look anything like this. Yeah. But, I kind of, over the course of time, I decided, hey, why not make him, black man? Why not, make a hero that's, you know, for our people. And one thing about Superman, right? A lot of people don't know, but 2 Jewish immigrants made Superman during the height of World War II when Hitler was, you know, doing stuff. And so they wanted to make a character who would be the champion of the oppressed. That was Superman's nickname, the champion of the oppressed. People don't know that. And so I was like, well, if you think about it, you look at the history of African Americans in this country, we've also dealt with that oppression. You know, so it's like, okay, well, why not make a character who can be against that, who can oppose that, you know, and he's powerful. Not a side character, not a, you know, a background character. He is that guy. That's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make a powerful black superhero.
So what type of powers does he have? Does he fly?
He flies. he definitely flies. So All-Star, his powers come from the stars. I actually did a lot of scientific research into.
I noticed that in my talking to you earlier, because you were saying some things that were scientifically based, and I was like, you had to have done a certain amount of study in order to be able to even put this into action, to make it make sense, you know, or give it some reality to the readers, so that even the youngsters that can read it. Because these are some things that I'm finding out even now about us as a people. You know, the greatness that is within us, we look at ourselves sometimes as second class, but in actuality, that's not so. That's not so. And we have to start seeing ourselves as the greats of time, because if you go back and study in the history, going back to the pyramids and all, we've got something that in reference to black history, we really need to get to studying and get our pride up and put this into our next generation. Can I ask you a personal question? I'm seeing your dreadlock. Okay. And I know this is very, when I see a brother in the dreadlock, very, very in touch with our blackness, for the love of ourselves and love of, you know, and I'm loving it. And even I, at one while, you know, I had started growing my hair out and what have you. And knowing, and then you hear certain people talk about the importance of us even growing our hair and this and that. And so I'm looking at your character here. And all of the, I guess, you know, there's this might get cut.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right.
But there's when we studied about who Jesus was, and you know, we had this one mindset of what he looks like. But everything that we read in the scriptures said that he had hair like yours, skin like ours, you know, and what have you. And then we realized that now that's what a great superhero he was. And we never knew that greatness that we were talking about looked like us. And then I see you looking like us, like what? You know, the greatness that is within us, and representing all of that. And I look at him, now he's sharp cut, and that's the way I might raise my son, to have this sharp cut. But that was before I knew about a lot of the awakening that I'm going through now. I'm waking up, and I think that this is a time that we should be waking up. Well, we're late. We're actually late, you know, in waking up and understanding, knowing who we are. But because of our history and the things that we've gone through, these truths have been covered up, and therefore we didn't know, and still a lot of us still don't know who we are. But every time I see a brother with that, so I'm wondering, why he didn't end up with some dreadlocks?
You know, I did consider it. I just feel like a lot of people, part of the reason why I didn't want to make them too much like me in that regard, I didn't want to be a self-insert and because then people are going to say, oh, you just put yourself in there. No, but also with him being a Marine or retired Marine, he has keeps himself maintained and stuff like that. As far as me, one one of the reasons why I wear my hair out like this is, like you said, it's like I feel like I'm in tune with who I am, and even like I grew up Christian and stuff like that, reading the stories of Samson.
Right.
I feel like whenever I did cut my hair, I didn't feel like myself, and so Samson, he had his strength when he had his
strength
locks.
was in his hair.
Yeah.
Right. But see, now I've been ministering a long time, even as a Christian. I was teaching all these things, but when I started to wake up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm on a journey right now to where I'm going back and I'm reading through the scriptures all over again. Because I think that now that I've gotten a good understanding of what they fed us to read and to understand, now that I'm going back with my eyes open, a consciousness, I'm beginning to see something else, and my life is changing because of it. I'm becoming more aware. I guess what they call more conscious of what's going on, spiritually awoke. Right. And where that journey is going to lead me, I don't know, but I really don't care as long as I'm walking in righteousness.
Right.
Living. I think in our hearts, all of us know what really is right. To do unto others as you have them do unto you.
Exactly.
And so we have this hero here that is very much, I assume, very much aware of the wrong and dealing with the things that are violent or whatever in our community.
Exactly.
So I haven't read it yet, but is he mostly? Tell me about what type of hero. Things are in the book that can really excite us about the things that we already know he can fly.
Right.
What's some other things he's doing?
So I was gonna go back in depth with his powers really quickly. Talk about the science behind it. So the crystal itself. Okay, so he gets his powers from a crystal that crash lands from space.
Okay.
But it has bigger implications. So basically, the crystal, it didn't just crash land; it was actually sent to him by this being from space. The being is actually a celestial goddess who was created by God, crafted by God to bring light to the universe. And so I didn't want to dive too much into the angel aspect, because then if I made her an angel, then it would kind of mess with the Bible. So I had to make my own character. But she basically, she's a bearer of light, and she basically can control stars. She can make stars and manipulate stars. And so what she did was she got these stars and turned these stars into a crystal. And this crystal holds the power of all of the stars in the universe. And so she was looking for a champion, avatar of light, of justice. And so this man who had lost his son, he has this anger, he has this righteous anger inside of him to prevent other situations like that from happening. So when she hears his cries for help, she sends this power to him, and he gets this crystal that was crafted from the stars. And scientists say that human beings have the same elements within them that stars do. So when this crystal that was created from the stars comes in contact with him, the elements that he already had inside of him are elevated 100 times that than an average man. So his muscles, his bones are denser than an average man.
Right.
He also has this blue cosmic aura around him. This is also the cover of the book too. But he has this cosmic blue aura around him. The cosmic blue aura is basically this energy from the stars is permeating from him. It's like a supernova energy, because when stars die, they explode, they go supernova. And that energy is more powerful than nuclear bombs. So he has that flowing through him. But the thing is, because his powers come from the stars, it allows him to manipulate his gravitational field. And when you see astronauts in space, they're just floating, right? When you see Superman fly, you don't know how he flies; he just flies.
Right.
So with All-Star, he manipulates his gravity, and he's able to levitate because of the gravity field that's around him. And that's how he flies.
Okay.
And he also, and because of the energy, he's able to propel himself like a shooting star. And shooting stars travel somewhere between 200,000 miles per hour, if not faster than that. So that's a lot of speed that he's able to get, flying around.
Yes.
And so he can tap into that energy. He can shoot the energy out of his hands, out of just about every other part of his body. But he is a living star. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the gist of his powers. But he could go supernova, explode like an actual star too.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of power that he holds.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
When I came up, I didn't do a lot of reading, period, because I had reading deficiencies when I was a kid. But that was one thing that I made sure that my children did. Read a lot. Now, now that I'm older, I read. But as a child, I didn't. And my son reads comic books. I found them. I put together a book about this size of all of his comic books that he has been collecting over the years. And I gave them to him for Christmas. He loved it. I guess he thought they were lost and gone or whatever. But Dad had them. But the value of these stories and the values of, and you're writing all of these storylines, right?
And illustrating, doing it all.
He's doing it all. So you've got to have a creative mind. You've got to do some studying to make sure that it's making sense, scientific sense. Right. Oh wow, this is fantastic. So this is how we've gotten here. So we have how many books now?
So we have 2 books right now. I managed to finish book 1 last year. I actually had it published. I'm actually doing a re-release of book 1, and I'm just about to publish book 2, and it's going to be out there to the public. I have a Kickstarter, which is my fundraising goal, and for those who are interested in getting book 1 as well as book 2, you'll be able to back and support my project. My goal I'm trying to reach is $2,000. Once I reach that $2,000 mark, I'll be able to print out at least 300 to 400 copies. If I don't reach the $2,000 mark, Kickstarter doesn't let you keep the money. So that's the whole goal, of trying to reach my $2,000 and get this book out there so that people can know more about the character, get exposure. And and if I go past the $2,000 mark, there might even be more rewards. A friend of mine actually sent me pictures of figurines doing an actual action figure of All-Star. So there could be an opportunity to have some, actual, figures. So that's more or less what I'm trying to do with my Kickstarter, is raise that goal. And a few days ago, I was actually featured on WSFA on the news. So I'm kind of trying to get my exposure going so that people can be invested in this character, because not only is he a powerful superhero, superpowers wise or strength wise, but his heart, spiritually, he is a man of faith, but he also is very strong-willed, and he wants to stop situations like that from happening from anyone else. His son was killed by a police officer. That's very tragic. But instead of letting that pain consume him, he's using his pain to help and inspire others. So that is the gist of his character and what he's trying to do. And you're going to see a journey with this character. As a man, obviously he's going to have some anger, some level of resentment, but he's still a good man. So you're going to see a story arc where he's actually dealing with crime. He might be a little hard on crime. He doesn't kill. He's not a hero that kills neither, but he is definitely, hard. So he's going to turn from that, that grief-stricken father into the hero that's supposed to be hopeful for his people as well as the rest of the world. So that's kind of what All-Star is, who All-Star is. And it's basically a take on a modern day superhero, what a superhero would look like now. Superman has been around for 80 plus years, and he's still around, so it's like, I feel like we need something that's more relevant to the times. And so that's what All-Star is.
I think this is right on time. Yeah. I think this is right on time. Wow. I'm really impressed. I know that you're going to be successful with this. I'm not very familiar with the Kickstarter thing, but I know that you all are. And we want to support this brother. So make sure that our audience have all the information. I need you to have all the information that you need to help this brother make this a success. I have mentoring groups. And I want to make sure that this type of a book get in the hands of these students, because a lot of times we just need material to increase our students' desire to want to read. My son loved comic strips. That's the reason why he reads so well now. Okay? So we'll need positive books like this to put in the hands of our students. I'm working with middle school, intermediate school, students, and this should really excite them, and it's positive. So parents out there, single parent household, when your young men need a role model. I remember me, when I was a child, I wanted to fly. I thought I was going to be Superman. I wake up the next morning, was I dreaming? I get up the next day, I wanted to fly, I wanted to do something great. And so our students we need to get some positive images out there for our young men and young women, to seek to be the best version of themselves. Even me becoming the best version of myself. And this is what you're doing too. He's only 21, he's just getting started. So we need to support him. Make sure that they have all the information, even if you want to get in touch with him. Could you make sure that they have the information to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my Instagram, you guys are going to be able to find me. My Instagram name is Ronny Creates. It's RONNY Creates.
Good.
If you go to my Instagram, you'll see the Kickstarter link. All you have to do is click it. And once you click it, you'll see a couple of options on rewards. And the rewards are basically whether you want to purchase book 2 by itself, the digital copy, the physical copy, and the special edition. You scroll to the bottom, the special edition will also be there where you can purchase book 1 and book 2. And then there's the super edition where you can purchase book 1, book 2 signed by me. And there's also going to be a special poster, a special print that me and another artist created of my character. And so, that's basically where you can find my Kickstarter as well as my social media. Same name for Facebook as well, Ronny Creates, RONNY Creates. And you'll be able to find me there as well. I'm also on TikTok with the same name. So you can find the Kickstarter out on my social media. And I would love to, have you guys read my books and,
and buy his books. Hey, we need to help this brother reach his dreams and his goals using the talents that he's already been given. And as I always say, in any of my interviews, the reason why this is called Victor ETV is because I've had my lemons in life, and I had to go back and become victorious over the things, sometimes negative things that happen in your life. You have to do the same thing. That's what this character did. He took his lemon and made lemonade. And so I'm going to say to you, now that you've gotten a chance to meet CJ, and we're going to continue, I want you to continue to come to this station. I want you to subscribe. I want you to like and send it to other people. So that they can find Sidewalk Talk and meet all these interesting and amazing people that I get a chance to meet. So with that said, I want you to remember, take that lemon and make yourself some lemonade. You got it there? Peace.